Okay, so I'm sure anyone who follows me or knows me knows that I have a vehement and very real dislike towards the President of the United States of America. I fully believe that Donald Trump is the greatest symptom of the sickness that is kind of deeply rooted at the core of this system's put in place in the Western world. This person rose to power on a campaign of real racism. If you watch the 13th documentary on Netflix, it shows, some clips of the type of qualities within the human spirit that he's pandering to, qualities that we need to be, evolving out of. Fear, division, really aggression, like that masculine type of aggression. And his whole campaign was based around his ego. Listen, Donald Trump is not out for you. I mean, I know we're in Canada, but I do feel like I am a citizen of this entire earth, first and foremost. He is out for himself, basically. He's out so that his brand, and this is obvious to anyone with even half a brain, he's out to evolve his own ego. Because he likes Donald Trump at his golf resorts. He likes Donald Trump towers. He likes Trump models. He likes to have ownership of things. And that's what it's about for him. It's about having ownership of America. Because now he feels like he's America's new savior. And some of his followers are even likening him to Jesus. I saw a comment on one of his rally videos, which it's always like a black hole to go down the comment section of YouTube videos, basically saying Donald Trump is the new Jesus. I feel like Donald Trump is really the antithesis of the message of Christ and Christ consciousness and brotherhood and love. And I definitely don't believe that Jesus would have been a supporter of Donald Trump. And it's really scary because this is, our religions have become so distorted over time from their original message. And they're not even religions anymore. I feel like real religions are meant to inspire unity between people as brothers, sisters, friends, comrades. We're supposed to see one another as our equals and to see ourselves in one another and to want the best for one another. And a lot of these religions are causing hatred, and I don't think that that was their original message. And it's really disheartening to, watch a crowd of people yelling, "Lock her up," about Hillary Clinton. And I think a lot of people shit on Hillary Clinton, and maybe she's not the best, person ever, but I don't think that she's this evil bitch that a lot of people seem to be making her out to be on the left and on the right. She's just another human who was born in her circumstances, who was trying to do the best that she could with, the philosophy that she was born into. I make a lot of vision boards, spell boards, kind of casting my own little spells on Donald Trump and the toppling of America. I don't know, fuck if they're gonna do anything, but it makes me feel a little less powerless right now in fucking Stratford, Ontario, where really this isn't the hub of the connected world. It's Stratford. But it's something that I can do to put energy into kind of toppling the house of cards that is the USA. I was just recently watching a documentary about the Baha'i faith and their prophet Baha'u'llah, I think that's how you say it. It's hard for me to pronounce it, Baha'u'llah. And he basically said that, we are one earth. no one is illegal. No human being is illegal. We are one Earth, and that it isn't impossible. World peace is not an impossible goal to reach in this lifetime. This is something that, can be accomplished, but I think for peace to be accomplished, we need to start getting outraged about things. We need to start getting truly, enraged about the things that really matter. And there are so many figures in human history that did this beautifully, which is Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. These are two that I've been kind of trying to look into a little bit more and see how I can embody their message in my own life, even after all of these years that they've been gone. So I don't think that this is normal, and it's really sad that this individual gets to have a say for things that happen on an international scale. Probably the least qualified human being on the planet for this job. I liken him to sort of a sheep or a wolf in sheep's clothing. And he's guiding these sheep, and they think he's one of them, and they think he is for them, but he's not. He's gonna eat them. He doesn't care. He likes the response that he gets from the crowds cheering when he feels like his ego isn't validated. He likes doing these rallies so that his grotesque, grandiose, narcissistic sense of self is validated. And these people don't have the intelligence to really realize what's going on. I'm sorry, that's just kind of the case. They don't have the empathy. They don't have the ability to connect, because I think, in the Western world, we are, as a society, sort of sick. And, fuck if I could find one person in my friend group who hasn't struggled with some kind of mental health issue or mental illness. It just seems to be pervasive as a kind of symptom of the culture that we are living in. And they're really not intelligent enough to see what's going on, and that the wool is being pulled over their eyes while this person is making more and more money, and his friends and cronies and billionaires are getting even richer at the, detriment to the environment, to women, young children, people who are struggling, poor, workers. He doesn't care about the average human being at all. So I wanted to kind of show a couple of my vision boards that I have been making, directed at him. And it says, "Beware Donald Trump." So basically I was watching the 13th documentary on Netflix not long ago, and it shows a clip of him at one of his rallies. Basically there was a black protester, and he came out and said, in the good old days, these people would have been dragged out of here on a stretcher, folks. If they protested once, they would not do it again so easily. And you can even see it in his face here. Look at that face. That is a face of someone who is not a good human being, who is not a decent, kind, moral, or anyone who has the virtues that you would really want in someone running an entire country. This is a picture of a black boy back in the 60s whose face was beaten in beyond recognition. This is that's someone's face. Because of racism, the same racism that ascended him to the presidency. And so, yeah, basically, it's just me basically calling out the depth of human savagery in this world. So really, if we're going to talk about the all, if we're going to talk about unity, if we're going to talk about God or oneness, we have to realize that, this earth has bred some of the most heinous, deplorable criminal acts. And I think it is such a fucking cop-out for spiritual movements to overlook that. To say it's all love and light and oneness and beauty and, plants growing out my fucking ass and light and love coming out of my heart. That really isn't what humanity has been about for, much of our modern history, or even history. We're kind of savage brutes. And we have to look at that side of our aspect of our nature too, and not just be like, oh, love, light, fucking sat song, crystal bowls, whatever. No, human beings are kind of disgusting. And we need to recognize that that is something that is our inheritance. And we can't overlook it. And yeah, so there's me, and it's Eminem's middle fingers and my face. And yeah, the quote from his rallies, and the picture of someone's dead body from the Vegas shootings, and now they're not doing anything about gun regulations. That's someone's family member, sister, daughter, dead. We can't be desensitized to these things. These things happen and we are desensitized to them, but we really have to start becoming more aware that this is a really disheartening reality. And yeah, back in the day, he went after a group of black teenagers because he said that they had raped a young woman with no real evidence. And he called for their death penalty. He was actually one of the ones who was, very vocal in getting them in jail. They were later exonerated by DNA evidence. This person has been racist since back in the day. I mean, Woody Guthrie lived with his father and lived in this apartment or something like that with, that Donald Trump's father owned, and wrote a song about the racism of his father. This person, a tiger doesn't change its stripes. He is what he is, and he's not this savior, this hero that some people in America think that he is whatsoever. And there's a picture of his ugly ass son being confronted by an alien. I don't know, I feel like there are aliens out there probably watching us being like, they're on the brink of nuclear war, like what's going on? Aliens, if you exist, now's the time to let us know. Just kidding, but I would love that. Yeah, I think that he deserves to be in jail. He is a seriously mentally ill human being who has no right to be in charge of anything. And yeah, there's another little picture of him getting booed off the stage, and then Bill Hicks coming back. I wish he was alive still to comment on this, because he was so spiritually and politically apt for the time that he lived in, and I wonder what he would have to say about this and the farce that this is. And one of the reasons, obviously the main reason I have Bill Hicks tattooed on me with Bill Hex is to hex America, I guess, to hex the Republican Party, who is now backing up an accused child molester, something that has debilitating effects on a human being's psyche for the rest of their life. That is an action that someone has done that would probably cause ruin and pain and sorrow for these women for years, and now they get to see him go on to make decisions for people that he doesn't give a rat's ass about. And I'm sorry, we gotta start getting angry about this shit. And that's also why I have Slim 80 tattooed on the back of my neck, because obviously Eminem, Marshall Mathers, is someone that I adore and love, and his vehemence and his outrage was very commendable in my, opinion. Yeah, so I really do hope that this particular collective spell that we were doing has some kind of effect somehow.